Two, one, you're live.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy here, George Beatty. There's probably nobody up in this bitch yet, but if y'all catch this shit on the replay, I just want you to know a couple of things. Today's Saturday, November 14th, the year of our Lord, 2020. And let's see. I'm going to kind of just do what I want here because it's fun. So you'll be, and I'll be enjoying my time with you folks with a pumpkin spice cold brew latte from Caveman Coffee Co. It's nitrogen infused cold brew, keto friendly, even though I'm not keto. And this is in honor of Hot Girl Fall, which I believe that we are in now. So I'll just take a ceremonial first sip there. And here I have a, well, I took the label off it already, but this is a Bolivar Cuban something or other. It's a beautiful little cigar here. It's currently one of my favorites. It's got little woodsy notes and tastes a little bit like cinnamon. And I'm going to roast this motherfucker down while I'm talking to y'all. And I got a little air purifier here right next to my fucking setup in my home office. Got my window open. Home office is a little bit of a mess. If you guys caught my last broadcast probably 6 months or a year ago, and I was like, yeah, I'm eventually going to clean my office. Still haven't done it, right? Still got blankets up with this motherfucker. Still got an air conditioner sitting on the floor. And that's just how I roll. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if anybody's out there telling you that you're not going to make it because you don't clean your room and you don't make your bed and you're fucking generally a little bit disorganized and messy, tell them to fuck off. Yes, you can. According to a recent polling or study done by Ray Dalio of the Bridgewater Group, he surveyed a number of what they call shapers, which are a group of essentially ballers that change the world, i.e. Mark Zuckerberg types, Elon Musk types, like presidents, I guess, and shit like that. And they found that there was a bunch of commonalities in personality assessment traits, such as extroversion, introversion, intuition, based versus sensing based, thinkers versus feelers, things like that. And long story short, half those motherfuckers are messy, so suck it. Yo, what's up, Nate? Yes, it is in the same spot from 12 months ago. You're goddamn right. That's just how I roll. It's how I live my life. And I'm going to ceremoniously spark this motherfucker up right here, right now. Oh wait. Let me see what we got some commentary. Yeah, there we go. That's a good cigar. Oh, Lord, that's good. Hopefully you guys weren't expecting a bunch of business advice because I'm honestly just going to sit here and pontificate and fucking flex on all you motherfuckers for like an hour or 40 minutes or however long. So, you know, I hope you're excited about that. Am I watching Nick or George? I don't know who Nick is. Nick Tang? I don't know who you're watching. You could be watching Nick. You could be watching George. Who really knows? All right, good. Let's see. So Yarrick Buys Houses Didenko said that he got one of my marketing pieces at one of his properties. That's great. We send a lot of mail. Not sure which marketing piece it was. It was probably one of the ones we send lots of. And maybe we'll talk about direct mail in just a few moments. We'll see. Maybe we'll talk about data acquisition in a few minutes. We'll see. Maybe we'll talk about structuring and systematizing stuff so you can do stuff. We'll see. Maybe we'll talk about where I like to buy clothes. We'll see. Maybe we'll talk about the deliciousness of a pumpkin spice cold brew latte. We will also see. I'd also like to point out for all of my lactose intolerant friends out there, I, your boy GB, am lactose intolerant. And this motherfucker right here ain't got any lactose in it. It is blended with MCT, which is medium chain triglycerides for all you dumbasses out there, from coconut, as opposed to cream and stuff like that. And then they got some other bullshit in it to make it taste good. But, you know, whatever. There's a little bit of salt in it. Actually tastes really good. Would recommend it. Let's say. Or good. All right. I think I'm supposed to go on in a couple minutes here, so I'm just going to keep fucking sitting here for a moment. But You guys have any questions, anything you're curious about before we get started? Make sure that I know that I covered, because I don't really have a plan. I'm just going to start talking and rambling. I've had a lot of caffeine this morning, and we're just going to see how this goes. I might stand up and flex at everybody at one point. We'll see. I can't see how many people are watching this shit. So, we'll see how the motherfucker goes. Let's say.
By the way, George,
Hey.
you have a lot of people tuned in right now, so you're crushing it.
How many people do we got?
We got over 30.
All right, whatever. So, where the fuck is this thing? Live now, something or something. Oh, there I am. I got 8 people watching on the old Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and click the share button. Guys, if you wouldn't mind for your boy GB real quick, if you want the real secrets to real estate and how to become successful in it with no money, no credit, share the page right now. If I don't see enough, share this feed. If I don't see enough shares and enough comments on this thing, I'm not going to give you any secrets. So go ahead and click that share button on the old Facebook right now, so that, I give you the goods, because otherwise I just might not feel like it. Oh, Billy Muggs Nicholson, Mike Castellonia, don't know you. Willie Delinco, don't know you. Mike Castellonia again, hello, my name's George. Bill Muggs Nicholson, what's up, Billy? What's up with you, baby? Anyway, so, all right, we got around another minute. Oh. Y'all got questions or whatever? And I swear to God, if one of y'all motherfuckers tells me to clean up my office here or like fold this blanket, it's not going to happen. We're going to end it right there, right here. It's just going to stop. I'm just going to cut the feed off and we're going to go. So, let's just, just draw some ground rules right here. We'll draw some fucking ground game, or I guess ground rules is better. Ground game doesn't really make any sense because we're not running a canvassing department here or doing any kind of politics. But anyway, whatever. All right, so it's 1:05. Hey, hello, everybody. My name's George Beatty. I'm the owner and founder of Problem Property Pals and also PA Off Market. If you're in the real estate game in Philadelphia and you are a real estate agent or real estate investor, you very well may have gotten an email from me advertising our wholesale deals, or you very well may have gotten a piece of mail from me with me saying, hey, let me buy your house, right? So just to take you guys through a little bit of what we do and what our business is like, I am a wholesaler of real estate, right? Not a one-man band. So a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today is behaviors, successes, or ass-kicking techniques of my team, right? So like, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together, right? So I am very much a proponent of the going together bit, because my goal in life is to go far, not necessarily going fast, right? Unless it's in my Tesla, jamming my foot on the fucking gas as hard as I can at a stoplight, because let's just be honest, that's a lot of fun. So this is, what year is this? This is 2020. We're on the tail end of coronavirus. It is November 14th of the year of our Lord, 2020. And so last year we did 130 wholesale deals. That's settlements. That's not properties written up or attempted to do. We're double counting, the buyer side, and then the seller side is 2 transactions. That's 130 fully completed wholesale deals. In 2019, we did about $3 million in wholesale assignment fee revenue. Geographically, we cover the greater Philadelphia area, do the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding 4 counties: Montgomery County, Delaware County, Bucks County, and Chester County. Late this year, but probably realistically early January of 2021, we're going to be entering the New Jersey and northern Delaware markets pretty aggressively, as they are still in the greater Philadelphia area. Right? Who the fuck is calling me? Chelsea, I'm on the phone. All right. So, Q1 of 2021, we're also looking to open an office in Tampa, Florida. So in terms of what we're doing now, numbers wise, last month we wrote up 30 transactions or 30 deals individually. Like, the sales team fucking killed it. And of those 30, we'll probably realistically settle on 25 with an average sale price of, depending on how things end up, $22,000 to $25,000 per deal. We are on pace in 2020 to end up at right about the same revenue that we did in 2019, which is a little bit of a surprise. As soon as the COVID shutdowns happened, our revenue dropped significantly. Though we still had like a lot of deals in the pipeline, there's some, if you guys recall, there's some issues with like the courts and the recorder of deeds and, how we were going to do settlements and the register of wills and things like that. So I'm very happy to have to be looking at ending up at the same revenue that we did in 2019 and possibly beating it significantly. Next year, 2021, without additions of New Jersey and Delaware and Tampa, depending on how those markets go. Without those things, we expect to approximately double or possibly more than double in revenue in 2021. So at the moment, we're doing lots of settlements. We'll be doing a lot more settlements later in November and in December, and we're looking at put an exclamation point at the end of the year, pretty big time. So Yerrick, so that's what we do. We're wholesalers of real estate here. And, we do a lot of that. I don't really flip houses. I don't really buy rentals, really. I do have some, and I do buy them from time to time and with some buddies. However, I, at this point in my career, am very much so a one-trick pony. I like wholesaling. I like wholesaling single-family residences directly from sellers, not from banks, not co-wholesaling, not Jay-Z chaining, not building relationships with investors where I can then wholesale their house, but I'm technically acting as a real estate agent. I mean, wholesaling real estate in a traditional sense, putting a single-family property under contract to purchase it at a discount, and then assigning that contract to an end buyer for a fee, right? Make sure everything what? So for those of you just tuning in, this is a Cuban cigar. It's called a Bolivar. It's the brand. It's delicious. It's a Royal Corona. It's got little wood notes, cinnamon notes. Great. I got it on the internet. Who knows if it's real or not, but it fucking tastes good. And here we also have a pumpkin spice cold brew latte from our friends at cavemancoffeecompany.com. No, they're not a sponsor. It's just fucking delicious, and it's hot girl fall. So I figured I'd throw a pumpkin spice up on this motherfucker. So, So anyway, that's what we do. In terms of adapting to COVID, COVID has presented some very unique challenges to the industry that, frankly, I was not expecting to occur. I've been preparing for a downturn in the real estate market for quite some time, but did not expect it to be global pandemic related, and did not expect at the same time for a global pandemic to be occurring that there would also be an auxiliary benefit or some shit of the real estate market booming as a result of rates being low and the Fed doing lots of lending, right? So that's something that we're experiencing now, which is really good news. At least if you are in real estate, right? Price stability and rapid price appreciation does have its benefits for many people. I'm a wave rider technically as a wholesaler, so I'm into that, of course. So adapting has been during COVID was like a daily or a weekly thing, right? So one of the biggest things that I did during COVID is I looked at my profit and loss, and I looked at my cash flow, how much money I had in the bank, how much I was spending on this and that, what kind of revenue we were getting, what kind of revenue we were getting a few weeks from now, on a near daily basis, right? So like as a business owner, and especially not as a one-man band where every wholesale deal that I do just pays for, a nice car, or clothes, or my house. Like I take a salary for my business. My personal finances are separate from my business finances, which is great. But I want to make sure my business is healthy, right? I got a lot of messages from people during COVID and immediately after the major shutdown lifted, that they were going there. These are wholesalers or real estate guys, and they were going out of business, and they were saying, "Hey, I got to hang it up. Not making any money. I'm spinning my wheels. Like, is there a place for me on your team or something of that nature?" To which was extremely surprising to me. Wholesaling is for me a very, very fun business. I really deeply enjoy being in it. But it's not like it's very transactional. It's also very marketing based, right? And sales based. So like what I mean by that is you're not manufacturing anything, right? You're not like there aren't supply chain issues in this business, like, or like a true cost of goods sold, like you would have with, for instance, being an Amazon seller, if you're selling shoes, you have to buy the shoes that you're selling from somewhere. So like we don't have those concerns from being a wholesaler. So, like the major fluctuations in your revenue should come from how much, or your net profit, or how much do appointments cost? What are you getting in revenue per appointment, right, on average? Which a lot of that has to do with, are you making sales? Are you not making sales? What's your average assignment fee? Like how much you selling the buyers for, things like that. So that was really surprising. And frankly, that's been a tremendous benefit from us so far. It looks like it has been, is other competitors taking their foot off of marketing or entirely going out of business altogether as a result of the pandemic, which is good for me, right? Because we have increased our marketing spend significantly, as well as like other forms of like data acquisitions and analysis, and just like investing in things that we know that will work. So like, as an example, do 150 or more thousand letters per month on average for the last few months. We're continuing to increase that on a near monthly basis. We invest a lot of money into alternative or experimental forms of marketing, which, if you Google how to market as a wholesaler and you see something there, we do that. Pretty much anything that you see on Bigger Pockets or on YouTube that's been suggested, we've either tried it or are doing it now. Oh, my lighter's out, folks. Gotta keep this motherfucker lit, Shut up. All right. Bang. Anyway, so next year we'll do like 200 deals or 250 maybe. Originally, the title for this video was supposed to be how to sling mad deals and look goddamn good doing it. They changed it to how to do 100 deals a year. I'm a little upset about that. Just throwing that out there to the powers be. I was looking at flexing on everybody and making jokes literally the entire time instead of being serious in any way, shape, or form. Also, I am much more of a in-person vibe off the crowd guy versus spit game on a Zoom meeting, for a while. So a little bit at a disadvantage. I also really like fucking Q&A stuff. So if you guys do have questions for me, I will answer them. Like I said, we do millions of dollars in wholesale deals a year in a small geographic market. We're not nationwide. We do lots of transactions. Our average assignment fee is over $20,000. We do lots of marketing and blah, 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 big buyers list and all that shit. So if there's something that you're curious about, as long as it's not like, should I be a wholesaler in an LLC or a trust, as long as it's not something fucking dumb like that, and if somebody asks me that, I'll probably flip out at people. How many VAs do you have cold calling? None. So cold calling, we've tried a few times, hasn't been great. Early childhood and scale and profitable. Might try it again. Probably didn't have enough people doing it. So quick note about that. The biggest mistake that I see new wholesalers make. Oh, what do you suggest for newbie wholesaler? Great. So the biggest mistake that I see other wholesalers making or newbie wholesalers making is not doing it big enough, right? So like it costs me several $1,000s in advertising to get a salesperson into a property to make an offer, which might sound outrageous to you guys, but the numbers work out quite well for me based on close rate, average assignment fee, and things like that. And it will frankly work out for the company. So, if you're new and you hear that number, oh, it costs whatever, $2,000 to get into a property, like a qualified opportunity to make an offer on, like how much money do you have to invest in marketing? Well, you may have to spend thousands of dollars a month in order to generate a consistent lead flow that turns into an appointment flow that turns into an acquisition flow, right? So like if you're thinking that you're going to get rich quick in real estate with no money and no credit, with like $200 in direct marketing, like you're going to lose, like you're going to waste your money. So like the general answer I'd have for the cold calling thing as well as newbie wholesaler is whatever you're thinking about doing, double it, triple it, or whatever. So let's see, where do you get fresh data from? Public records. Here we go. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So best place to get fresh data, public records. Most data is just public, right? So remember, you're marketing to homeowners. So like homeowners, there's a public record of them. They're on their own sites, right? There's like an internet thing. You fucking Google with whatever county that you're in, public records, and bang, look, a bunch of homeowner records. You can see who's lived there for a long time. You can see who's lived there for a short time. You can see who's, transferred the deed within their family a few times, which can be an indication of potential distress, right? Most people that we do business with have some type of death associated with them, right? They inherited a property 10 years ago. They inherited a property 6 months ago. Their husband just died. Their wife just died, something like that. So like a lot of that is trackable in public records. So if you're looking for the fresh stuff, public records. If you are inclined to pay for your data, I spend lots and lots of money on data, or mostly because it's pre-organized for me, and we stick it into a SQL database that we built. And it's like this cool data analytic tool. It does all kinds of cool stuff. It's turned into quite a competitive advantage for us in the marketplace. Buy it. You can buy data from ListSource. You can buy data from the Kent Clothier guy. A lot of guys buy vacant data from that guy. If you Google where to get motivated seller data, there's data brokers everywhere. Find a data broker you know, like, and trust, tell them what you want, and they'll get it for you. There'll be a cost associated to it. But if you compare the cost of the data versus the cost of mailing people that you really don't want to mail to, it's a no-brainer, right? So like most people, if they're sending letters, the letters cost them between 60 and 80 cents. We're sending them for significantly less than that because we do so many. But if you're spending 60 cents per mailer and you're sending 10,000 mailers a month, $6,000 a month. But what if you could drop your marketing budget by 20, or your direct mail budget by 20% for 6 months because you spent $1,000 on data? That's a pretty fucking good deal, right? And should increase your response rates and your number of deals you get per piece, and all that stuff. Jason Davis, top 3 lead generation methods or generation tools: direct mail and the internet, pretty much. So frankly, Jason, the top, second, and third best marketing or lead generation tools for me, all 3 of them are direct mail. I spend more money on direct mail than I do on, any other individual lead source by a mile, and combined. So like for every lead that you can buy leads, you can text leads, you can do cold calling, you can do Facebook, you can do SEO, you can do pay-per-click, all those things. What I've found to be the most scalable so far at this moment in my life is still direct mail, although we are testing out a bunch of other stuff to see if it's going to be just as good or as sustainable. But generally how those things go is I'm not really the first person that hears about some new experimental marketing source. I hear about it at the same time as everybody else does. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon, they saturate the source, and then it ends up costing about the same amount of money per lead or per appointment as all the other lead sources. So we'll keep doing them, but they all end up being, pretty similar amounts, especially when you are, again, at scale, right? So we get dozens or hundreds of new leads per day sometimes, right? We run dozens and dozens and dozens of appointments per month, right? So that's a beast that needs to be fed new information and new leads all the time, right? So that's why I do those things at scale, and I spend tons of money on them, because with scale comes certainty, with scale comes safety. So if let's say you're hiring cold callers as an example, you have 2 people on the phones making calls. If one of them sucks, that's 50% of your lead generation tool that's not performing. If you have 10 and 1 or 2 of them suck, your bet is hedged and your risk is spread out significantly, which allows it to become much more scalable and a lot more reliable, right? Although it is quite expensive, which means you need to know your numbers, be scalable, and not be fucking running your life out of your business checking account, going to the club and buying a bunch of dumb shit, because you'll go out of business and then you'll be like, oh, I almost made it in real estate. Yeah, I fucking blah, 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 blah. Which is like how it goes. I'm going to run out of matches. Blabbing too much. All right. Are you using a special contract or the state contract? We're using a special contract. Follow-up is the key in this business. How often is your team following up? It sounds like a fucking, who's asking that? A lot. So like we run analytics on what are the average number of calls we make to certain stages of leads per day, per week, things like that. But we'll call a new lead. Like if a lead comes in on like a day, we'll call them 3 or 4 times that day. And we'll call them up to like 40 or 50 times until we're like, okay, maybe this person doesn't actually want to sell their house. We'll leave messages. We'll send text messages. We don't really email or that, at least at the moment. But yeah, we follow up a lot. Following up on leads is a fucking hugely important thing. So as an example, like right now, like 10, maybe 15% of our sales that are being made on a monthly basis right now are coming from leads that we generated in 2019. We're very early in the year 2020, sometimes from leads we generated in 2018 or 2017, right? So keep following up, keep talking to them. Just because somebody's not ready to sell their house for fucking pennies right this second doesn't mean that they won't at some point. Although I want to point out, once somebody converts to an appointment that one of the sales guys goes to, the vast majority of our sales are one call closes. The vast majority of our sales are done on a one call close basis, i.e., we visit the property, we make an offer, and we make a deal right there on the spot with a signed contract. Or maybe the contract gets signed the next day, but it's like pretty much right there. Also, Nick, I'm just busting your balls. It's okay. You fucked up the name. It's all good, dude. I just like to talk shit. Let's see. What's the best direct mail company to buy from? There is not one. That is, so what the best is not objective. That is subjective. And it depends on what your outcome is, right? What is the best person to date? Well, that depends on the person. It depends on you. It depends on the other person. It depends on a variety of factors. So when you say, what's the best direct mail company to buy from? I don't know if you're talking about buying data, having them do the design, or just having them be a commercial mailer or a printing or a mailing fulfillment shop where you send them the design and the data and they just do it for you. So like, you know, it's very hard for me to answer that question because there's a variety of different ways to answer it depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for an entirely done for you solution, there's several big players in this marketplace, which I'm sure you've heard of. There's the Yellow Letter guys. There's Postcard Mania. There's like, I think it's called Go Big Printing or like Rocket Mail or something like that. There's the Kent Clothier guy. There's a bunch of that stuff that's out there that do all of it for you. However, if they do all of it for you, you're going to spend a significantly higher amount of money per piece. But if you can convert those leads into appointments and you can convert those appointments into deals, well, who gives a shit, right? As long as it's profitable. Facebook user, who's leaving all like motherfucking comments? Yeah, no idea. Where are all these fancy comments being left? All right, so is direct mail working best for you because when a seller calls, you have a killer sales team that will close them? Can you talk a little about how important, not important sales guy is? Pretty important. Okay. Okay. So I think what you're asking is what's more important, the selling aspect or the lead generation aspect? So I want to point something out. The earlier that something is in your sales process, if you put everything out in a line that says first this, then that, then this, then that, because you need to generate a lead before you can talk to them, and you got to talk to them before you can close them. The earlier that is in the process, the more important that it is. Therefore, the most important thing is data. Then after data is the piece or the medium, let's say, right? And then after the medium is is the call, right? So like there are two. So if you're generating leads and you have numbers for how well that those leads are converting into whatever your next stage is, there are two things that can affect the efficiency of that next step in the process, whether that's the setting as an appointment or whether it's the excuse me, or whether it's the fucking, if you're making a sale over the phone. We do nearly everything in person, right? So, and that is scripting and talent, right? Or more accurately, scripting and the person. It's your system and who's doing the system, right? So if you're just winging it on all your calls, you're gonna fucking lose. Selling is a science, right? Like selling really hasn't changed for the last 2,000 years. There are some or minor fluctuations in like consumer sophistication and things like that, or availability of information, but it's the same shit, right? And anybody that's like, oh, look at these new selling techniques that have only started happening in the new millennia, the old way doesn't work, are full of shit, and they're trying to sell you something. And they're probably good at selling something, at least because they tricked you into buying it. So, yeah. So to answer your question more directly, yes, our call center inside sales department is doing quite well. They convert leads at a great rate, and the person running that department has been truly excellent since she started with us, which is fucking amazing. She's really great. So, you know, is direct mail working best for you because when I sell a call? Yeah, we're efficient at capturing those leads. They're extremely fucking expensive, but like we have a CRM, like spend like $4 or $5 grand a month on our technology, like our CRM, not including other technology stuff. Like we spend a lot of money on technology, and a big part of that is capturing and categorizing the leads so that they can be followed up on continuously. So like I want to make a point here really quickly. You can hire a killer salesperson or like a fucking murderer for like phone stuff, but like if they're just winging it, you will get winging it performance, right? You'll sometimes get great performance, you sometimes will not. If you need to manage a system. You train and manage a system will give you predictable results that you can scale and do cool stuff with, right? So yes, to be clear, I want to be ultra clear here. The quality of the people in your organization is everything, right? And when I say quality, I don't just mean talent. I mean, do they work hard? Do they row in the same direction as everybody? Are they team players? Are they fucking assholes or whatever? Like, I mean, the overall quality of the people in your organization will be the determining factor in your organization's success or not, right? And that is true across any organization, which is why you see technology companies paying people right out of college $1 million a year to like click a bunch of buttons on a fucking screen, right? Because they're the best at it, right? That's the whole game. God damn it. I just got this shirt. That's why I can't have nice things. It's like a fucking $200 t-shirt. Anyway, so let's see. Nathan Crownhammer started from the bottom right here. Yes, sir. Thank you, Nate. Always trying to one-up me. And Cheeto, how do you find buyers? The internet. Just kidding. That was a really curt answer. So if you are in the greater Philadelphia area, Bright MLS has an inventory of agents that have represented cash transactions. You can export it and turn it into a buyer's list like that, which is a good way of starting. Besides that, advertise on Facebook, get people's business cards, go to fucking real estate investor meetings and things like that. But everything revolves around having good deals. Having good deals is more important than having buyers. If you have good deals, people will seek you out, people will find you, and they will beg to be on your buyer's list. So become a source of deals and the buyers will come. If you build it, they will come, right? What systems do you use? Asks Eric. I'm assuming that you mean technology systems. So right now we use Salesforce as a CRM. We were using Podio. Podio is great. We ended up outgrowing Podio. Salesforce has been insanely expensive, but is probably one of the best investments that I've made in the last several years. It is extremely expensive, however. And also to point out, the technology or CRM is only as good as your desire to, or your use of it, right? So putting some shit in there, like if you don't use it, it doesn't matter. You can spend all the money in the world on it, but if you don't do it, it doesn't matter. I.e., you can spend all the money in the world on marketing, technology, education, but if you don't use it or you don't do the actions, you are wasting your time, money, and the time and money of everybody around you. So nut up and fucking do it, right? All right, so I got another, 10 minutes or something like that? Woo! Just having some fun here. It's your boy, George Beatty. If you guys are just checking in here, I got the old pumpkin spice cold brew latte in honor of Hot Girl Fall. Put a wreath around your neck, grab some Uggs and some flannel, because it's getting a little chilly outside and there's leaves on the ground. I got a bowl of our Cuban cigar right here. I do like to flex on y'all motherfuckers that it is, in fact, from the island of Cuba. Currently one of my faves. I smoke an uncomfortably aggressive number of cigars every day, and I'm fine with that. So, here we are. Delicious. So if you guys are curious where to get delicious Cuban cigars at not a ridiculous amount of money, imported from Switzerland, I get mine from puroexpress.com, Puro.com, and that's where Puro Express, whatever, you guys know how to fucking spell it. Let's see. So if you guys have questions, I might have answers, I might not. If you're a new wholesaler, if you do 3 or 4 deals a month and you want to know how to get to 10, if you do 80 deals a year, you want to get to 200, whatever, ask me something in the comments. I'd love to answer your questions and help out. I do not have anything to sell. I do not have a course. I do not do coaching. I do not do mentorship or anything of that nature. I genuinely enjoy, out of the fucking goodness of my heart, but also like my ego and things like that, to help people when they're just starting out, especially if they are folks that come from traditionally disadvantaged circumstances and essentially like did not get a loan or a big check from their family to like start buying real estate from. I like helping people like that because that's where I started out, right? So, holler at your boy. I know. So wholesaling is really beautiful in that there is no barrier to entry for it. There's no gatekeeper. There's no licensure. There's no, oh, my dad's rich and got me into this club so that I could like be a financial advisor. There's nothing like that. So it provides a meritocracy without a gatekeeper for success. So, right. So like if you're young, if you're smart, if you work hard and you do the right things, the market will reward you. Right. So like a little bit about me. I don't come from a, phenomenally rich family that like gave me a company when I turned 25 or anything like that. I was a drug addict criminal for a long time. I have a criminal record and, a bunch of other stuff like that. If you guys have seen my book. So, like that ability to like make something of yourself, do something with yourself. If you do so desire and actually want to do the work is really beautiful. Right. And I think it's really cool. So, let's see here. So Yarrick also on Brett MLS regarding cash buyer agents. What section is that? I think inventory. You go to inventory, select cash, area that you're in, export it, and then run a search through all of the selling agents or buying agents or whatever through the agent office directory thing in Bright and have a VA do it in about an hour and a half. You use a certain formula to estimate repair costs, or your folks who go on the appointments experience with that. Thank you for asking, Laura. Are you asking me if we do math to determine our offer price or whether we're just like winging it? Yes, we do math. We don't fucking wing anything. Everything is based on science and data. The marketing that I do, the amount of marketing that I do, where I do it, who I market to, what we do on an initial call, what we do on an appointment, what we do after an appointment and it closes, what we do, all of that shit is based upon data or at least trial and error, right? So if you're fucking winging it, you're going to lose. You should fucking quit. So to answer your question is less of an asshole. Yeah, so it depends on the neighborhood, right? So like if you're in Philadelphia in Northeast Philly, or actually, I'm sorry, let me back up. The number one indication for what your wholesale deal is going to sell to an end buyer for is other cash comps from investors on the MLS. It's number one indication. In the absence of cash comps, you can do an ARV equation. Okay, ARV minus 80 or 80% of ARV, 75% of ARV, depending on the neighborhood that you're in, minus repairs should end me up at this. And then you back out the math to make sure your investor is making more than $5,000 if they do that deal. But that requires you accurately estimating a repair budget and accurately assessing ARV. So repair budgets, if you guys want to write this down, generally what we use for a cheap renovation in Philadelphia that still requires new plumbing and electric, which most of them do, is about $55 per square foot is what we use to ballpark that. If it's an upper end rehab, South Philly Brewery Town, we'll use $80 or $90 a square foot. It's just a reality. They do cost that much money, or some fluctuation in there in between. Once you get to the property, you see, the basement's already, basement's parched already, or they don't need new windows, whatever, something like that. In the suburbs, typically you get away with a much smaller renovation budget per square foot. Those can range from a lipstick of $15 to $25 a foot, medium grade rehab $30, $35, upper end rehab around $55. The reason for that is the difference of the age of the properties. In suburbs, most of the houses were built in 60s, 70s, or 80s, mostly 60s or 70s, whereas in Philadelphia, most of the properties were built in the 30s or around the 1930s. Because of that, you've got plaster walls, you've got old electric, you've got knob and tube, you've got all that stuff, which essentially needs to be entirely redone, and you need to get permits for it in Philly, which is kind of a bitch, in order to reap your reward, so to speak, and do the renovation. So because you have, which are called mechanicals, right? So because you have to replace all the mechanicals and essentially gut the house and rough in new electric and plumbing, it dramatically increases the amount of renovation budget in Philadelphia. Unless you're somewhere like North Philly, where some slumlord is just going to paint and carpet it and rent it out. But those areas will be dominated by cash comps, and you'll be able to reasonably see what yours should sell for something in similar condition because of the cash comps there, or cash comparable. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. What else y'all motherfuckers got? We got like 5 minutes. I'm your boy GB. If y'all just tuning in, I got the motherfucking pumpkin spice cold brew latte. Happy hot girl fall. Got a Bolivar up in this motherfucker in the home office. Not going to clean it up. Not going to fold my blanket. Not going to happen. It's your boy GB. Let's see. You use a certain formula. Still got the same questions. Let's see what else we got on here. I don't even really know where the questions are coming from, but it's exciting. I do love to talk. I like to talk about myself, blah, 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 blah. Thanks and congrats on your well-deserved success. Thank you, Laura Danzel. That means a lot. Let's see. So, yeah, problempropertypals.com, paoffmarket.com if you're interested in buying wholesale deals. Once again, we do lots of wholesale deals in greater Philadelphia area. We do a boatload of them. That's what we do, where we like to sell stuff and do stuff and, all that other fun stuff. That's our game. That's our thing. And I like to blab on the internet and, occasionally give people a hand. Okay, so in parting, the number one thing that matters in this business, more so than anything else, and if anybody on the internet tells you anything different than this, or tries to convince you that it's something otherwise, whether it's another speaker, whether it's a YouTube guy, anything else, they're fucking full of shit, and don't listen to them. They're probably losers, or they're in the exact same place now that they were 15 years ago. And if the market dips again right now, they'll be fucking out of business, right? Do not listen to those people. The number one thing that matters in this business, more so than anything else, is getting in direct contact with sellers, owners of property that you can make cash offers to and negotiate a deal. Nothing else in this business matters until you get good at that. Fuck buyers, fuck contracts, fuck, LLC versus trust bullshit, fuck coaching, fuck mentorship. If you can't get in contact with sellers, you are fucked. Period. Nothing else matters. It doesn't matter if you can close if you don't have leads. It doesn't matter if you can take phone calls if you don't have leads. It doesn't matter if you can sell things to buyers if you don't have leads. Leads is the most important thing. It's also the most competitive and the hardest thing to do or maybe not hardest, but most expensive thing to do in this business. It's not hard for me for some reason. I enjoy it. I've become good at it. I understand some major metrics that lets me be good enough to market for them. But I've noticed that is the number one hard thing for people like getting up with me. Let's see, what CRM do you use? We use Salesforce. How are you handling your dead leads with sellers, with zero equity, lots of foreclosure, short sales out there, and more to come? So we refer them to a retail team partnership that we've built recently that so far is going quite well. Although this is like the fourth time that we've attempted, maybe fifth time that we've tried to build one of these relationships. None of the other ones have really gone well. Although this one's going quite well especially in comparison to the other one. So that's what we do with those. We used to just throw them away. Doing retail agent shit is not our business. It's not our core function, right? So that's great. How am I on till? Let me see this John right here. 105 to where the fuck is this thing? Biggest secrets of something. How to do deals. All right. Well, 105 to 145. Okay, cool. So I got about another minute. Had a lot of fun with you guys. Once again, my name is George Beatty. You can find me online at paoffmarket.com or problempropertypals.com. And if you're smart enough to find my cell phone number online, don't fucking call me. Feel free to send me a text. And yeah, we just wholesaled a short sale, made 6 figures on the deal. Would love to partner up with you on those deals and build that relationship. Sure. Find my cell phone number online, shoot me a text message, and we'll go from there, sir. How about that? If I had a nickel for every time somebody said something like that and didn't deliver, I'd have a lot of nickels. I'd be happy to hear you out. However, we get a lot of those. And with that, it is 1:45 p.m. I am at the end of my scheduled time, and I would like to wish everybody a happy and healthy rest of their 2020, and have a great fucking day. Peace.